Dune Awakening held a Q&A with several content creators, I'm assuming, where they answered 19 different questions about Dune Awakening. We got a whole bunch of insight into the game from this Q&A. I wasn't personally a part of it. However, this thing is floating around all over the place. So we're going to go ahead and break it down today. If this video helps you out at all, then help me out by hitting that like button. But let's go ahead, cut this plug, and jump right on into it here. The first question is, what is the story beyond what we're being shown inside of Dune Awakening? And the answer that they give is that the game has a planned 10-year storyline, initially focused on Arrakis, but the plan includes expanding into other planets over time. There's going to be free updates, not the DLCs. DLCs are going to be paid, and the free updates are going to continue the main storyline. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of like intertwine the paid expansions into all of this. I'd imagine that throughout the 10-year storyline here, we're going to have to pay for the expansions. I don't know why they make it seem like free updates are going to progress the main storyline, even though I'm sure that some free updates will. However, any big changes to the storyline, any sort of new planets, I would definitely imagine they try to package up in some sort of expansion and sell it to us. The second question is, will we need to create a brand new character to join the third faction, or can we use our existing character? Their answer is that you can betray your current faction and join the new one, just like you can switch between the two currently. However, it is a one-way switch. There is no returning after betrayal. The third question is, are you going to be able to join any siege that is on your world's server, even if you don't have any friends that are currently on that siege? And the answer is yes, that in order to kind of like expand player interaction, they will have a drop-down menu where you can then swap between the sieges and kind of visit each of the ones that are currently on your world's server. The fourth question asks, are loadouts coming to the game for switching gear sets? And the short answer for that is no. The fifth question is the game going to run on Steam Deck? And their answer is yes, it is going to run using the low-end laptop mode, similar to the way Conan does. The sixth question asks if you're going to be able to play on older hard drives, for example, non-SSD hard drives, and they say that is strongly discouraged and that the HDD results in lag and slow loading as well as some performance issues. Question 7 asks, are you going to be able to keybind controllers at launch? And the answer is no. Keybinding for controllers is not available at PC for launch. It may be added when the console versions are released. Question 8 asks, is auto run available? And they say it's not in the launch patch, but it is expected in one of the first patches post-launch. We're going to start to speed run these questions a bit here. Question 9 asks, are turrets available in the game? And the answer is no. They say that turrets were seen in old marketing material but are no longer a part of the game. They may return in the future though, so keep your eyes out for that. Question 10 is, will there be private servers or server customization? And they say yes, private servers are coming. There is no estimated time, but they are currently working on private servers. We're about halfway through this Q&A here, but I did want to take a brief moment to pause and recognize everybody that has been supporting the channel recently. The Dune Awakening content has been doing pretty well for the channel, but even more so, the community that's kind of building up from the Dune Awakening content is growing exponentially. And I do appreciate you guys stopping by, watching the videos, hitting that like button. And I also want to mention that we're going to be running the early access speed running strategy live right here on YouTube and on Twitch. I'll have a link to the Twitch down in the description. Be sure to stop by and see how we're doing on day 1. Again, I do appreciate you guys being here, but let's go ahead and get back on into this Q&A. Question 11 asks, will there be more melee combat updates? I think that's obvious. Yes, there's going to be some changes happening in melee. Question 12 asks, why were ornithopters and other scrap vehicles removed from early zones? And the answer here is players were using them to skip progression and rush to the deep desert. And they say in order to enforce the intended gameplay progression, these vehicles were removed from the starting areas. This is actually incredibly interesting. My entire day one speedrun plan kind of revolves around a sand bike. The plan only changes slightly if the sand bike isn't there, and it's like a free for all at that point anyway, so we'd have to be the first one there. So chances are we weren't going to get it anyways. But it looks like from this answer here that they have removed sand bikes from the early zones as well as ornithopters because those were spawning in later zones too. And I'm assuming that buggy vehicle that they were grabbing during the beta is going to be gone as well. It's not 100% that they're talking about the sand bike here, so I'm going to still check that spot come launch. However, it definitely sounds like it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But let's go ahead and move on into question number 13. Will modding be allowed like in Conan Exiles? And they say no, there's going to be no modding allowed. That might be a little bit controversial. I've never really gotten into mods. Let me know what you guys think about that. Question number 14 is, will there be snapping tools for base interior decoration? And they say probably in the future. Question number 15, they ask, will there be character recustomization options post-launch? And they say, yes, there's going to be a patch coming in after launch that's going to allow you to re-customize your character. Question number 16 is, are you going to be able to trade from your vehicle's inventory? They say this is planned to be coming in the future. Question number 17 is, when are the DLCs planned to be coming? And we already have an answer for this, actually. I have a video breaking this down. It's all over Steam, but they answer it and say Wildlife of Arrakis is coming at launch. Lost Harvest is Q4 of 2025. Raiders of the Broken Lands is Q1 of 2026. And then the Water Wars is going to be Q2 of 2026. We do get a little bit of extra information in the answers that they gave, though, because over on Steam, it mainly talks about cosmetics. However, here they do confirm that each of these DLCs are going to come with a bit of some story to them. So at least we have that to look forward to. Question number 18 is, how will base raiding in the deep desert work? And the answer is, there is a lore-based mechanic hinted in the end of the first Dune book. They say players must figure out how exactly to disable the enemy shields, and once they manage to do that, full PvP base raids are going to be possible. This, of course, is if you build outside of the safe zone inside of the deep desert. And then finally, question number 19, can you play the game solo or is it purely multiplayer? And obviously the answer here is yes, there is no restriction that strictly prevents you from playing solo. However, you're going to be kind of at a disadvantage jumping into the deep desert. We'll see how early access goes for me. I've got a day one speed run planned out. We're going to be running that live right here on YouTube and on Twitch. I'll have a link to the Twitch down in the description if you're interested. But it'll be interesting to see how all of that ends up working out with our day one speed run. And we might end up reworking that plan come the full launch of Dune Awakening, because we're going to be rerunning a speed running plan for the full launch as well. And we may actually be jumping in with a guild for the full launch. But when it comes to early access, we're going to be doing that entirely solo. So again, stop by the live streams to check on how the progress is going. Also, let me know down in the comments if you managed to make it this far in the video so I can give you a bit of an extra shout out. Also, hit that like button on your way out. It helps out massively pushing these videos into the algorithm. But other than that, that's all that I wanted to break down today. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.